Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy.
And I'm Denise. And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
That's fine. Look at that, Jason.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
I'm telling you.
Welcome in. What's that? What's the German for? Is it like willkommen or something? Willkommen?
I don't know.
You ever seen that word before?
I don't.
Willkommen.
No.
You got to be careful when you start saying words that you don't know what they mean, because things that you think mean something friendly
They don't.
Like brutal. Like here in the United States, brutal is not. That's a word like something bad. You know, it's
Right.
man, that's brutal. You know, like ooh, yikes. Well, in Puerto Rico, brutal means it's awesome. It's got power behind it. It's
Really?
brutal. I had a haircut at Sport Clips. There was a lady that used to cut my hair there in Georgetown. In fact, my friend owns that whole company.
Really?
Gordon Logan gave it to his son, Gordon Jr., and Gordon Jr.'s his daddy started Sport Clips with an idea. He went into his wife's hair salon, and he goes, man, it stinks in here. It's too many chemicals, too much. You know what I'm saying? They always have all that. But I don't bother me any.
Yeah,
but he
whatever.
went in, and, there's one of those that just has everything. And so you walk in, and you're just like, it's like you're over. You walk in and you walk out. You don't even have to be around a stylist. And as a guy, you walk in with your wife, you walk out, and your hair is gelled, from hairspray.
From just the overspray?
Yes. That was the kind of salon that he was in. And basically told his wife, there's got to be something for men. This is ridiculous. And so that's how he started Sport Clips years and years ago.
Yeah.
I always wonder, though, I never asked him, I wonder if ESPN tried to sue him, because back in the day when you would go into a Sport Clips, they started redesigning all the stores, and it had a tailgate on the wall. And it was like there was a picture of a truck, and then there was a tailgate. Well, what did it say above it? And there was a TV on that tailgate. And what did it say right above it? Sports Center.
Uh-huh.
And so I always wondered if ESPN called them, because that didn't last very long. They got rid of the Sports Center above the truck, and I'm pretty sure that was a big no.
I'm sure they got a little letter in the mail or something, cease and desist order.
It was cool, though, to kind of follow their story, because they started out, and I mean, they only had a handful of franchise. Their headquarters is in Georgetown.
Really?
And I'll never forget the first time I heard about them. I said, well, I'm going to go over here and get a haircut. And I was like, this don't look like a barber. As my friend Odell would say, it don't look like a barber shop. And I went in there, and it was not. It was their corporate office. I said, what are you doing, sir? I said, well, I thought I could get a haircut here. And he goes, no, this is our corporate office. But she gave me 3 free coupons for haircuts. I said, well,
that's kind of cool.
I said, I'm just going to pretend like this is the place every time, you know. And
just put on a wig or something?
Boy, back then it was affordable. You can get in and out of there for like $14. No more. Not anymore. I mean, you're lucky to get a haircut under $50 now.
Pretty much.
So, anyways, Gordon retired, kind of, the senior, and let his son, Junior, take it over. And, I mean, they've got several thousand locations now, and they franchise them out, and they're a great business, But as they've grown, just like anything, things change, and I still support them when I can, but I'm a big Odell Rochelle fan. Odell tells stories. He's the Cajun barber. And unfortunately, he's told people this, so I'm not spilling the beans, but he is going to be retiring at the end of this year. And he wants to find somebody to come in and run the business that will run it like he does. And so he said, I'm not just going to allow anybody to come in here and do this. He goes, he told me, he goes, I'm going to find somebody, and they're going to have to agree to not change the pricing for a year. And he goes, I understand inflation and all that, but he goes, I have built up so much trust with my customers that I don't want any of that trust to get ruined. And that's how passionate he is about serving this people and serving his community. So,
yeah.
And if you call him, man, you better call him a week in advance. Because
you better.
He booked up.
He is.
He booked, as he is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the other
There's another gentleman in town that he cuts hair as well, and he doesn't.
We can't talk about him because
I'm just saying
he's not an ethical business directory member. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You can mention him. It's fine.
This man just charges hardly anything like Odell for a haircut. You know, and everybody says, well, why, how can he do that? I don't know, but the man put both his kids through medical school.
Wow. Well, who is it? You can plug him. Who is it? Are you allowed to say?
I don't know his name, but he's over off of...
Making up stories.
No, he's right next to Mr. Hamburger.
Oh, high hair over there.
Yeah.
High haircut. Yeah, high haircut.
Yeah.
It's a sign that says high haircut. Hi. Like you going, hi, hello haircut. Hi haircut.
I mean...
or a high top.
Whatever. But he put both of his kids through medical school cutting hair.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. It's there's so many, we need to support these local businesses more and more. There's so many just good, hard-working, down-to-earth people. And if we're not careful, it's just going to turn into a suburb of Houston. And I don't mean that negatively, but what do you see when you go into these towns like Conroe or like the Woodlands? You see the same thing.
Big chains that are in Houston and everywhere else. You don't see the mom-and-pop barber shops or the family-owned restaurants or anything like that.
The what?
Restaurants.
Restaurant?
Yeah. You know where you go eat.
What's a restaurant?
This is where you go eat.
Well, we're going down to the restaurant. They said, no, I'm just kidding. Oh, see, I say words wrong. I say restaurant.
Oh, well.
We're going to go over to I'm going to start calling it the Ront.
The Ront?
Let's go to the Ront and eat this restaurant.
You need to ask Odell how they say buffet in Cajun.
Buffet. I don't know how they say it.
Nope.
I've always wondered about...
They call it the buffet.
The buffet. Hey, you know who says it like that? Woo! Justin Wilson.
That's it.
I guarantee. Whatever happened to that guy? Is he still around?
No, he passed away.
Did he really?
Yeah. I mean, he was old when I was a kid.
Man,
I'm old.
I try not to get depressed because dying is part of living.
It is.
But, man, I'll tell you, as you get older, you just, all these, family, and we're...
But, if you watch some of those older programming cable shows, they'll have him on there cooking.
I've seen him. It's been a long time, but I was thinking about this, man. I was thinking the other day, I lost Dad over a year ago, and I miss him.
Yeah.
And I started thinking my uncle's getting older. He's in his 90s now, my dad's brother. Mm-hmm. And it's the strangest thing because I'll call him. He doesn't get out anymore. Still lives on his own. Mm-hmm. But he's the one that got me interested in technology when I was young.
Really?
He would not let me watch Ninja Turtles, but he would let me play his Atari. I remember that distinctively. Said, you're not watching Ninja Turtles, but you can play the Atari. And I used to play a game on there. It was some little game with this little key this little dot that moved around on a screen. It's called Adventure. Adventure was the game. It was the first game that ever had what's called an Easter egg. It had a hidden level inside of that game. It was just a little dot that moved around on a screen. You had to go through different levels, get the key, unlock the gate, and boom, you win. That's how simple games used to be. Now they're complex. I like the games that had one button and one stick. That was it back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's like a million buttons, and these kids, their hands are molded. When they walk around, they walk like this because they're molded into the controller.
Yeah, or they're molded into one of these, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm molded into that, too. I'm not going to lie. But, I started thinking, though, about my uncle, my family, and I'm trying to cherish every moment that I can. And I call him all the time, and I talk to him. And it was funny because my uncle never likes to talk. Mm-hmm. He and I are polar opposites. I love to talk.
Yeah, you do.
But I know on the phone with him, if I can get 60 seconds, it's a great phone call. Well, the other day I called him. When I went to San Angelo to go drop off those supplies, and then, we were able to bless those 4 families. I called him. I said, I just need to call Uncle Warren. I called him. We had a 15-minute conversation.
Oh, Lord.
Boy, I thought I had a out-of-body experience. I was talking to him.
Out-of-body experience.
An out-of-body experience,
Talk about out-of-body experience, I mean, you got the text message.
Oh, yeah. We'll mention it here in a minute.
Uh-huh. That's an out-of-body experience.
Yeah, no joke. But I had a chat with him, and he was telling me, I never realized, he went to the Holy Land back in the day.
Really?
And he was telling me about his journey through Bethlehem and through Jerusalem, and he went over to Rome and saw the Colosseum, and it was just really neat. And, I just wrapped up a course a couple of weeks ago at ORU Online about that area. And one thing that was neat there in Bethlehem, there's an old church building, and they believe and claim that under that church building is the place that Jesus was actually born, the manger right there under this church building. And so you can walk down. There's steps that lead under that church, and there's the whole setup where where they claim that Jesus was born in that area. And I asked my uncle about that, and he knew all about it. Oh, yeah, we went down there and saw that. And the thing about it, here's the thing, though, is I was talking to him, and my uncle has a very distinct voice.
Okay.
It's not a deep voice or anything. It's just a very distinct voice. And kind of like, do you know Chaplain Holmes here in Huntsville? Chaplain Billy Holmes? He's a chaplain.
I don't think I've met him.
TDC. Man, you need to get to know him.
Okay.
I have a lot of favorite people, but he's on that list because when this guy prays, he sings. And it is the most beautiful prayers that I've ever heard from anybody. And we are so blessed to have Chaplain Holmes. And he has a very distinct voice.
Okay.
My uncle's voice reminds me a little bit of Chaplain Holmes. But anyways, I talked to him, and I got off the phone, Jason, and I started thinking, if I was in a coma, Lord forbid if that ever happened, but if I was in a coma for 30 years and woke up, I'd still think that I was in the same year because my uncle's voice still sounds the same as it sounded 30 years ago when I was little. It's the same. And I told my mom, I called my mom after the phone call. I said, Mother, you're never going to believe. I was excited about this. It was like some sort of revolutionary thing that I thought I was smart. And I was like, I finally thought of something that's really cool to share. My mom was like, well, it's not that cool to share. But I shared it with her. I said, Mom, I just got off the phone with Uncle Warren. I said, his voice, I just realized sounds exactly the same that it sounded 30 or 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was neat because a lot of times you get older, your voice gets kind of raspy and, sometimes you talk like this when you get older. I'm wondering how I'm going to sound when I get older.
Probably like that.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome into the show.
Since you make fun of people.
I'm not making fun. I'm just saying sometimes that's what you sound like.
Yeah.
So, I'm just wondering if that's I'm wondering what I'm going to sound like when I'm like 90. And I've determined this. And I want the audience to interact with us today. What is the ideal age that you're hoping that you get? We're not promised anything. We're not promised tomorrow. We're not even promised the next second of our life. But what is the ideal age that you want to live to? I used to say growing up, and comment in, let us know that. We'll talk about it a little bit later. I used to, when I was growing up, I said I wanted to live to be 120. That was my age.
120.
But as I've gotten older, I think 98 would be just fine.
98?
98 would be just fine. Because I'm telling you, man, as you get older, you get tired. And you want to see your kids grow up, obviously, and you want to see them get married. I want to see my children grow up, all those great things. Most importantly, I want to see them come to know the Lord. But, man, I started thinking, 120 is a long time.
It is.
And there's a lot of ailment that starts, even in your 40s, the ailments slowly start trickling in.
Yeah, you just now 40. You fixing to find out.
41. Be 42 in April.
To find out what happens.
Well, that's a new show called Fin to Find Out. We're going to have a new show. It's going to be one of these
segment, Fin to Find Out.
It's going to be a social. What do they call these? Social experiment. We're going to be live, and it's going to be called Fin to Find Out, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
But what I found out is don't try to play basketball without stretching because 6 weeks ago I played basketball and this knee right here is still hurting. Still, 6 weeks later.
You should have stretched.
I guess. So, anyways, Jason's here with us. Welcome in as we get rolling. Very long monologue intro this morning. We have our friends from CASA that'll be joining us here. Patiently waiting. I looked over. Rachel was over there a while ago, and she started going like this, and she said, "Come on, come on, come on!" And then she's
like, "I got things to do."
She started going like this to me, because time is money. So I'm over here wasting her time.
It's money. You're gonna have to call old Karen up and get you another loan.
Yeah, I don't need any more loans, brother. That's why I need to live to be 98 so I can pay off those loans.
So you can pay off all your loans.
Yeah. Hey, we are here though, episode 579 on a Tactical Tuesday. Big thank you as always to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Go by and see my good friend Elliot Herzlich. He's very connected to the community.
Very connected.
Just wrapped up a couple of weeks ago the beautiful jewelry pieces for just two very deserving young ladies at CASA, the children that entered in the jewelry design contest through CASA, and we appreciate his support. And, of course, we couldn't be here and cut up and joke and have a good time and promote the good in Huntsville like our friends at CASA without Jason and Guardian Defense. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, just trying to get by.
There was somebody that always asked. You know who it was? I just thought of this.
What's that?
I used to always ask somebody, like, how you doing? And he'd always go, oh, you know. It was Ray Hernandez. Ray Hernandez used to always tell me, like,
you know.
He would always tell me, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to think whenever you ask somebody, like, what have you been up to? You know. I'm like, no, I don't know. I need you to tell me because I have no clue what you've been up to, man.
Just trying to get by, brother.
I know you've been busy. Tell us a little bit about, Guardian Defense. Y'all had quite a few folks come out there the other day.
A couple weeks ago, we had a big class at 12. a little togetherness in my small classroom. But we had a good time.
That's great, man. If you're looking for NRA pistol, LTC, maybe just a place to go and shoot,
Yeah.
they've got the big place out there. It's Guardian Defense right outside of town.
Just no tannerite.
Go to Fiesta, Texas. Go to Fiesta Taqueria first.
Yeah.
Get you something to eat, and then just drive down the road a little bit and to the left is
Yeah, or
Jason.
come see us, and then you can hit Mandy for lunch.
They call that firing up an appetite.
That's
You
it.
can go out there and fire up an appetite,
Yeah.
and then then fire up your belly over there at Fiesta Taqueria. Go see
Yeah.
Mandy. She'll fire up your belly really
She
good.
will.
And but she won't fire up your wallet.
No, she really won't.
And I told her one day, I said, Mandy, you have got to raise your prices. I said, this is absurd. I'm not going to pay you $6 for lunch or whatever it was. I mean, it was, and somebody heard me say, I said, you better shut your mouth. They said, we love those prices over there.
That's why she's busy. Go if you're going to Mandy's at lunch, you better get there before 12.
Hey, well,
Or
real
are you
quick.
parking on the side street?
Yeah, you're going to be parking on the side. And that side street over there, man, is that county or city?
I don't think anybody really maintains it. I think
That is the worst road in
well,
Huntsville.
I mean, you've got all the concrete trucks running up and
That's
down
what it
it, and
is.
all the dump trucks, and all those heavy vehicles. Man, they tearing heck out that road.
I'm going to tell you what, if you got an old beat-up pickup truck that you don't care what happens to it, the suspension or even an old car, and you want to save a bunch of money, and you got children, and they say, Daddy, I want to go to the theme park.
Hey, man, just gas on it a little bit. You don't even have to get above 20.
No. You load up them children, you put them in those cars. and
Strap them in tight.
Strap them in real tight because that thing may go upside down. They may be going like this and just drive up and down that road.
That's all you got to do.
And you're going to save a lot of money. You don't need no flash pass.
No.
You don't need nothing. You just go up and down that road there
Yeah.
next to Fiesta Taqueria, and you are going to be on a roller coaster, man.
You are.
So, well, hey, I know you got to get rolling in a minute. That's why we're having an extended open here because we're going to have Casa here in just a few moments. But Jason, I know you're here representing Guardian Defense, and
Right.
But I did want to mention too. Many folks know, maybe some don't know. You're also involved at Sam Houston Memorial
Yeah.
Funeral Home. How has that been going, man? I wanted to just talk to you about
it's
that.
just it's interesting. I went up there to help Billy a little bit and found out I really enjoy it. So. That's kind of like my second calling. I mean, I decided to go back to college at 48 years old. I don't recommend that to anyone,
Yeah,
especially online.
That's been fun.
That was it's been a learning experience. We'll put it that way.
But you were sitting here with me one day and we were talking, and I love what you said because sometimes and you're passionate about your business too. I don't want to discredit that because I mean you're here with Guardian Defense obviously, and I know that you're passionate about that, but. I heard a Billy Graham sermon a long while back, and it says, sometimes, and me just paraphrasing it, basically, he says sometimes it's not really about our passion, it's about our calling.
That's it.
And so we can have our passion, and we can do the things that I feel the Lord puts dreams in us for a reason. But I've learned through Jason here at First, too, it's not necessarily about our dreams, it's about the dreams that God has for us. Mm-hmm. And out of nowhere, I mean, you worked as an EMT, so you've been helping families.
I've been helping families, off and on throughout. I worked as in EMS. I was in the fire service. I did stuff like that, and kind of took a break from that. Now I'm back at it, helping families in a different area of life. I guess would be the nicest way to say it.
I love that you get to support families, Jason, because man, I'm going to tell you, I've known you for. 5 years?
Yeah, or longer.
A little bit longer. You helped me move 5 times.
Yeah.
And,
it ain't going to be a 6.
No,
though.
there ain't no 6, trust me.
You got to stay for at least another year or two.
I had an opportunity. Somebody had called me, I don't know, a year ago and said, hey, there's going to be an opening at La Tech, Louisiana Tech. And that would have been a really lucrative job. Mm-hmm. They're a great program. In fact, I know someone else in this area that applied to that job. But I didn't apply to it because – you get these things, just like the Bearcats are looking for a new PA person. I saw that, and I had a bunch of alumni call me, hey, you need to apply to that. And I said, well, one, I probably wouldn't get it anyways. But two, man, I think at some point you realize what your calling is.
Right.
And I know that I'm right where the Lord wants me to be right now. Mm-hmm. And I want to encourage people, and here's some inspiration this morning before we take a break here in just a few moments. I want to encourage people this morning to really prayerfully consider big moves in your life. I don't mean sit around and wait and wait for this phone call that is going to be a heavenly divine phone call.
It's not going to be a phone call. You're just going to
You'll know that you know that you know.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to say it. You just, doors will open and your mind will change. And you just have to stop back and think, well, maybe this is what I need to be doing.
Well, I think a lot of it with your situation, Jace. I mean, a year ago, we'd be sitting here, you would have never talked about, man, I'm working at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home serving families.
Heck no.
But I have seen, and I'm just going to say this publicly, because I know that you like me to talk about you and, and all these things, Jason. Yeah. Actually, you don't.
No,
That's why
I don't.
That's why I'm doing it.
I like to stay in the back.
See, I'm going to put you up front just for a minute.
Okay.
Just because I know you don't like it. But I have seen such a wonderful, I mean, some people would describe it a beautiful transformation. Now, I don't want to say beautiful because that sounds kind of corny. But I have seen just a marvelous transformation in your life. Nothing negative before.
No.
But I have seen so much joy in your life really over these past 6 months or so.
Right.
Because I feel, and I've told you this, I said, I feel like you are in your calling now of where the Lord wants you to be, man.
And I do too, because I'm going to tell you, once you find out, kind of what I've been going through or what I've been experiencing, there is not a day that goes by that I don't look forward to going to work. And it's sad that I have to meet these families under those circumstances. But I know that if that's what I need to do, then I'm going to do a good job for them.
I've never heard you want. Now you've told me like, oh, I'm a little bit tired and all, but and we all get tired, but
we do.
But I have not once heard you complain about anything about what you do.
No, I don't.
And I know a lot of people. I complain sometimes, man. I know a lot of people who
and
are in
if
their
you
jobs
really knew some of the
about
things that the challenges that we do face, it can be trying.
But I think again, I look at you, man, and I know that this is your calling, and I'm so proud of you, man, because here you are, you're going to school. That's what, for a funeral director type deal?
Dual licensure.
That's not easy.
No.
That's not easy at all, man. And I know you're working and busting your tail, because I'll call you, oh, yeah, I got in at 2 a.m. last night, or I got in at 6 a.m. I'm like, you got in at 6 a.m.? Man.
There's a lot of nights that I spend out and about.
One thing that you told me, too, that you brought to life here, we don't have a medical examiner here, do we, in Walker County?
Well, our county isn't required by the state requirements to have a medical examiner.
So if y'all need a medical examiner, where are y'all going?
Right now we go to Fort Bend County. We go to Rosenberg.
That's a pretty good drive.
Yeah, a couple hours one way.
See, don't even. I was fishing for a complaint. He didn't even complain. No problem. It's a couple hour drive.
Okay. I mean, at midnight or something like that, it gets a little, interesting. If you've been up for a while, but 5 hour energy, cup of coffee, whatever floats your boat, and just go get it.
Well, I'm glad you're not like me, because, man, when I get on them long car drive, I start calling everybody. I really do.
I'm going to start calling you then.
I randomly start calling people. I think of people that when I had this is no joke. When I'm driving somewhere on a long trip.
Right.
I did it when I went to San Angelo. See, I had 5-6 hours of just driving there, and I was by myself.
When I drove trucks for a living, that's all we did. We had, you make friends with different drivers, and you get to know their schedule and their routine, and you get out there on the road and you just call somebody on the phone, because you can only listen to so much radio and talk radio before you get bored. You just call people and start chit-chatting.
I started thinking about folks that I used to work a lot with when I had my IT company in Georgetown these were just customers that call me all the time, and there was one guy that just popped into my mind while I was driving. His name is Ron Patton. That's how he talked. This is Ron Patton from Patton's AC and Appliances. That's how he talked. The guy sounded like he was like that guy if you go to Joe's Italian here in Huntsville. It's got that table in the corner with that light bulb that's unscrewed. That big round table in the back where you invite your friend. Hey, come on, we're going to talk about things. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of, That's that people are like, what are you talking about?
They need to watch.
But that's who he sounded like. He was like that guy, right?
Okay.
And anyways, I started trying every which way I could to get a hold of that guy, and I found out that he had sold his business and retired. But, I mean, I was on the phone for 30 minutes calling random people. Hey, whatever happened to Ron Patton? I want to talk to him. I haven't heard from him in 10 years.
Yeah.
And
just decide out of the blue to call somebody after 10 years.
Well, I'm going to tell you, and if it's a customer you had from a long time, they are so overjoyed to just talk to you.
That you remember.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. There's a lady, one final thought, and I promise we'll take that break. There was one lady that I used to do a lot of work for named Andrea Scheinbein. And she and I developed a love-hate relationship. Boy, we thought the world of each other, but we couldn't stand each other. Mm-hmm. And she was the only client that I had that I would just let her know how I felt when I helped her. Mm-hmm. You know, normally that's not professional.
Right.
But we just developed that kid. She was a lawyer in town. And I
developed that good of a relationship
I told
with her?
I told her I said, Andrea, I'm so sick and tired of you calling me because you're a cheapskate. I told her that. I said, you don't ever want to pay your bill, yet you're a lawyer and you're charging people $300 an hour and you don't ever want to pay me and you complain. I said, I'm sick and tired of doing work for you. Well, then why are you here then? I said, I don't know, because I hate you and I love you at the same time. and she'd always pay me, but she complained and griped about the prices. And I said, I'm giving you a discount. And we developed that kind of love-hate relationship. Yeah. And she was one of my favorite clients that I had.
Oh, I bet she was.
I just loved it.
I like customers that you can, you know, that you can joke around with or just be honest with.
I wasn't joking. I was serious. Well, I told her, I said, I can't stand working for you. Mm-hmm. I said, you're a pain in my neck. Mm-hmm. And she goes, well, you're the only one I'm calling. I said, the guy down the street's cheaper than me. Start calling him. And he don't know anything like you do. I said, well, I just make up stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. You know, she still used me.
Yeah, I'm just making it up as I go.
I don't know. I'm doing like y'all do. You know, I pretend like I'm doing stuff and charge you by the minute, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the relationship we had. And so I called her the other day. I hadn't heard from her in years, and I called her. I said, how you doing it? She was so happy, you know, that we talked. And it was just I hadn't heard from her in 5 years, you know?
That's awesome.
I got a call yesterday from a lady. My phone pause says Kathy Greer. I said, Kathy Greer? She used to work at HCH, which was a healthcare clinic in Georgetown. And I said, what is Kathy Greer calling me for? And so I answered the phone. She goes, hello? I said, Kathy? I hadn't heard her voice in 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And she was a customer of mine. She was the front desk lady at that clinic. And I said, Kathy, this is Rob Hipp. What are you doing calling? Rob? Well, what am I? Rob who? I said, Kathy, you know who I am. I used to come help you every week. And then she go, oh, my goodness. Well, I thought I was calling Beverly Herzog. I said, Beverly runs the clinic. What are you doing calling me? And I said, how do you get Rob out of Beverly? Mm-hmm. And I said, I think you're just trying to call to talk to me, aren't you? And then she goes, well, no, I really was trying to call Beverly. It's because Herzog was right near Hip, and that's what happened. So I put 2 and 2 together. So anyways,
I understand.
Before you go, Jason, your age. I got to ask you before you leave, what age do you want to – what's your target age, man?
That's a hard question because depends on my health, to be honest. You know, I see people that I don't want to end up in a nursing home. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
When I can't care for myself anymore, you know, let me go.
I'm hoping you'll be right there with me at 98, buddy.
Hopefully.
We can be out there. You ever see the grandma with the AR-15?
Yeah.
Remember that video back in the day? She goes, "Oh, shot him in the toodle." You know, she's at the gun range. You ever seen that when she's in her 90s? She's like 98 with an AR-15.
Yeah, that would
shooting
be fun.
That thing.
That'd be fun.
See, I could imagine that's you, man.
That'd be me. And on a little power scooter.
Yes.
I've already been on one of those. I don't want to do that again.
You don't need that, man.
No.
Well, there he is, Jason Thompson, Guardian Defense. Go online, GuardianDefenseLLC.com for more information. Jason, I know you got a busy day, so thank you.
Yeah, I got a busy day.
Thanks, Casa, for hanging out a little bit extra. I know we're going to have them on a little bit earlier, but I know you got to get going. So thank you, man, and have a blessed day, brother.
You too, sir.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're going to take a break. Jason's got to get rolling, and we're going to have Casa with us. And so make sure you stay here and hang out with us. We'll be back in a moment. As always, it's your show here on a Tactical Tuesday, brought to you by Guardian Defense. This is Good Morning Huntsville, and we'll be right back after this. Stay with us, please.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at GuardianDefenseLLC.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We're not a daycare. We're a child care center focused on growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville. Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
This is Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, and you're listening to Spirit Radio.
All right, friends, welcome back. 76 degrees, only 85% humidity. That's nothing here for Huntsville. A little high of 95 today, and guess what? 20% chance of rain this evening. We'll have a little bit of lingering showers possibly tonight. Tomorrow, though, that rain picks up 40% and a high of 95. We'll kind of continue that trend throughout the week. And then, boy, just in time for the weekend, little rain coming in. We'll have a 60% chance of showers on Friday. And that will remain in the forecast at least through Sunday. So have your umbrella ready here in this very hot August. but we still have not had many days of 100, and I don't think we will this year. I'm just going to go ahead and say it on this show because I've been bragging about how cool it's been, and so far it hasn't turned against us. We are still having a fairly decent summer. And you know what? It's always a not even just a decent, but an awesome summer when we get to have our friends here from CASA. They come on and hang out with us once a month. Today, Miss Rachel Drake joining us alongside Sharon Deringer. So good to have y'all this morning. Welcome in, ladies. Good to see y'all.
Good morning.
How you doing, Sharon? Good to see you,
Good.
too.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's great to have you on this morning as well, Sharon. Rachel with CASA. Rachel, I always forget the official title because you kind of seems like you do everything. But let us know your role over there. I know we have you in here quite a bit, but
So I am our
know.
program director. So Kim is our executive director and kind of runs things overall and keeps us all in check and, you know, make sure we're functioning. And then I kind of oversee the like program case side of things.
you have been. I'm sitting here turning down my microphone. You have been, it's like I can't hear myself. You have been extremely busy. You guys have so much going on. I know Laura keeps y'all busy over there too with a lot of wonderful community events. We get to highlight those here once a month on the show. One thing I wanted to highlight real quick, I know we're going to look forward to a couple of things happening, but one thing that I wanted to go back and talk about briefly, a couple of events, wrapped up the Christmas in July, which I know went very, very well. We did mention that on a show already. Mm-hmm. But then since that, we have had the CASA partnership with Elliot Herzlich and Elliot's Jewelers. Let us know about how the Sketches to Sparkles went this year. I was there, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, I wasn't there for the like unveiling of the art piece. I couldn't be there that night, but I did get a little sneak peek before the event. And Elliot is just so talented, and the art pieces were so beautiful, and I got to see the photos, of course, on social media after that evening. But it's just so cool to see these kids in our community have these ideas, and they do a little story write-up of a paragraph or so about why they drew the art piece they drew and their inspiration for it. And it's just really cool to see their idea and everything come to life and be something that is good quality that's going to last them for many, many years. So
now it's coming back to me because last time you were on, remember, I said, "Oh, how was the event? Were you here with?" There was someone here from CASA.
That was Cherie.
Yeah, Cherie. That was it. I was like, "Hey, Cherie, how was the event?" She goes, "I don't know. I wasn't there." And she had just told me that. You know,
you're 2 for 2.
Yeah, but I know,
okay.
but no, I know that. But you were a part of of seeing and helping that come in. Sharon's here with us as well from Hope's Bridge. Sharon, how you doing?
Good. I'm fine. Here for CASA because we do a really good partnership with CASA and all the advocates and the needs for the kids in the community. But I was there when they awarded the 2 young ladies. And it's just really nice to see the community come together, but it's also really nice to see the touching of family and how touching that event is where kids can express their feelings for somebody significant. So it's very, very touching.
Well, Sharon, hold the microphone there a little bit longer because I know we've had you on before. It's been a while.
Yes.
So just tell us a little bit real quick about your background, your connection to Huntsville, and because I kind of want to lead in with that just so folks kind of get to know you a little bit this morning.
Yeah, I came to Huntsville now. It's been probably 10 years. Yeah. Came to actually Texas after I was in my 40s. My husband got transferred here. And so we came and we lived down in Montgomery for a number of years.
Okay.
My son moved here to Huntsville and we moved up here to Huntsville. I was a lawyer and I actually worked for Chevron for about 13 years.
Oh, so you probably enjoyed my computer story with my friend.
Yes, I did. And he moved up this direction, and when I retired, I did some work with the Battered Women's Shelter, and then also was a CASA. I was a CASA in Houston for about 4 or 5 years before I came here. So got to know that there were resource issues in Huntsville for families and for foster kids. Got involved, and we put together Hope's Bridge, which also has their main office in Conroe. And so it's been just a number of years, 13 years since I retired and 13 years just doing volunteer work.
Well, there's a synergy, between Hope's Bridge and CASA, and so I definitely wanted you to
Yes.
mention Hope's Bridge real quick. What is it that let us know a little bit about your role with Hope's Bridge and what you guys do and how you support CASA.
Yeah, I'm a director of the Huntsville office here, and what we do is we provide resources. We have clothing, we have beds, we have dressers, we have all kinds of household appliances that are donated by the community, which I want to highlight. The community here has been phenomenal. The churches and the people who got to know that we take in the donations and we literally give them to families for nothing. So we have no paid employees, everybody's volunteer, and we've been able to serve this community now for about 13 years.
Wow, that's great. Well, Rachel, I wanted to switch back to you. Sharon, we'll kind of go back and forth here too, but Rachel obviously is here. She just talked a few moments ago. Rachel, these partnerships with other organizations are so important to CASA. Mm-hmm. Maybe highlight just what you've seen over the last couple of years and just how important it is to have folks like Sharon and Hope's Bridge partner up with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's we couldn't do what we do, all these extras. So like our role at CASA is to be their advocate. We train our volunteers to walk with the children through the life of the case. And so that's meeting with them every month, wherever they're at, talking to their teachers, talking to their dentists, making sure that they have a safe place, seeing if they're safe for them to go home, attending parent-child visits, all those things related to their case. But then while they're in care, there's just so many extra areas that these children, they've been displaced. They're not with their family. They're not with their old teachers. They're not near they're not in their old school. They're not in their old town. It's all different for them. And so with that comes a lot of expense for relatives who take in kids that they weren't planning on taking in, grandparents taking in their grandkids, aunts and uncles taking in their nieces and nephews. And so it's expensive to take in. We have kids that come in as one child, cases that come in with one child, or some that come in with 4, and to go from like, okay, well, I need 4 beds, or I need a crib, and I need all the baby things, and I need formula and diapers, and it's expensive, especially when it wasn't planned. And so that kind of fueled the partnership of like, okay, well, we need to talk about, our kids are seeing these needs, and we would talk with churches just in organizations like, okay, well, this is what CASA is. Okay, well, what do you need? How can we help? I can't be a CASA, but what can I do? Well, great, we have a child need drive coming up. We need diapers. We have a lot of babies right now, or we need this, or we need gift cards for our kids. They have birthdays and things, that we want to be able to honor and celebrate. And when they make the AB honor roll, and they've been trying so hard to celebrate those things. And so I've been with CASA for 7 years, and it's been a really awesome journey to see, where we started when I joined 7 years ago in this tiny little office, that little motorcade bank by the pool.
The little nook over there.
Yes, we called it the tree house. And it had just a couple little offices. And
wait, were y'all across the street from the bank, like the remote deposit area way back over there?
So up above by the pool, there was like 3 offices up there and a little baby lobby, and that's where we used to be housed before we moved to the big bank, and then before we bought our own building. And so it's wild, and we've been able to grow. Our dreams have been able to grow, and we've only been able to do that and achieve all the different dreams and serve the kids and families in so many different ways because of the community and the churches and the people and the organizations pouring in. I mean, Fellowship of Huntsville is who partnered with us and Hope's Bridge and they have for the last several years to collect the backpacks, go through the school supply list, make sure that they have it. The members of their church are really great about that. And they've done it every year. And then as that's grown, Wisniewski has helped with school supplies too, and donated several hundreds of miscellaneous school supplies, and that comes towards later in the month. And so that kind of helps pick up any extra kids that come in after we've kind of made those initial requests with Hope's Bridge and Fellowship of Huntsville. And, it's wild. And we were like, okay, well, they have back to school needs. Okay, well, then you dream a little bigger once you get that dream going. And we're like, okay, well, wow, it would be really cool if we could get them back to school shoes. Like, everybody needs a pair of shoes to go back to school with all the other kids. Normalcy is a really big part, a big deal for our kids. They don't have very much normalcy. Their whole life is out of their control. And so the little moments we can give them of, I got new shoes and I get to talk about them with my new friend at school, just like a normal kid. And so Rotary gave us a grant. We got to buy me and Sheree went shopping, filled up 2 Target shopping carts. The employees were probably, some of them were in awe and some of them were like, wow, that's a lot of shoes. What are you doing? Why are you buying so many shoes? And so we bought a lot of shoes that day. And so everyone, all our kids and the kids in the homes with our kids, so their cousins or their foster siblings all got back to school shoes, back to school supplies. It's awesome. So that was probably a really long answer to the question you asked.
No, it's really important. And I'll go back to Sharon here in just a few moments too. CASA is here with us. Rachel Drake, Sharon Derringer here with us this morning. CASA is all about supporting children, court-appointed special advocates. I encourage you to go to their website, casaofwalkercounty.org. It stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. The volunteers, they gather information from everyone involved in a child's daily life, including members of their family, their foster parents, teachers, lawyers, social workers, and other relevant persons in their life, just trying to help them navigate through, honestly, things that we just can't even imagine sometimes. These children need a voice in the court system to help guide them, and that's what CASA does, and they do it so wonderfully well. It's so important to have CASA. Sharon, you had mentioned you were an advocate. What drew you into the organization? And it's kind of neat to hear about how that partnership, just from being there and volunteering to now being able to serve alongside as a community partner as another nonprofit.
Well, before I went to law school, I was a social worker. So for 20 years, I did social work, and I could identify needs, did volunteer work. So CASA became a focus for me because I always liked working with kids. And so when I came to Houston, actually, was when I became a CASA. But I had done volunteer work through the courts in Ohio where we were living before. So CASA became just kind of a natural flow.
That's great. Well, Rachel, so many opportunities for people, and I'll go back to Rachel here. We just wrapped up several big events. What's on the horizon? There's always a lot going on at CASA.
It's kind of our quiet fundraising season after bingo.
Hold on.
I say quiet with parentheses.
Quiet.
Laura is, very hardly working in the background.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, she's trying to prep for next April for Expo, and we have Parade of Playhouses that she's prepping for, and having those committee meetings and getting float design ideas. She just is always, she's so good at what she does, and she's always thinking and dreaming, and she's awesome. I'm so glad we have her. We are so lucky. And so, but Food Truck Friday comes up. That's our monthly one that is our tried and true and we partner with McWilliams and Son and Frank's Tacos. And so that's the first Friday of every month. And so, definitely make sure you stop by and get your tacos. I was sick last month and I couldn't go. And so made my husband stop, take lunch break, go get me my quesadilla and bring it home to me.
I like that. Made him. There you go. That's a good husband right there.
I didn't have to do too much pressuring, but he knows how much I love Frank's Tacos.
Yeah. Well, it's this time of the year. All the kids are back to school, and we highlighted the partnership with Hope's Bridge. I think it's so important, and all these organizations coming together. And you're right. As you were speaking, I was sitting there thinking, as a parent myself, we can kind of plan on some of these expenses because we know that, hey, we're going to have to get the diapers. We're going to have to do this. But when a child gets placed into a home where people aren't ready for that, it is very challenging.
Yeah.
That's why it is so important for people to get involved, to partner up with CASA and learn about organizations like Hope's Bridge and how they can donate. There's so many wonderful nonprofits. I go back and I kind of laugh because when I had the idea for this show 3 years ago, somebody told me, they said, you're going to run out of stuff to talk about. And I said, there's over 250 active nonprofits in Huntsville. If you take Monday through Friday, that's 5 days a week times 52. There's your show covered every single day to hit those nonprofits. And, I love being able to showcase the work that Huntsville does through organizations like CASA, like Hope's Bridge, because I think it just shows how great of a community we truly have here in Huntsville. It is such a blessing, and I will talk about that every single day on this show.
Yeah.
That it is such a blessing to be here and to promote all the great things and the great organizations that are going on here in Huntsville. So,
well, we appreciate it. I mean, it's awesome that we're just grateful that you give us a platform to share the good and even some of the, the harder things. We don't share as much of the hard things just because some of the confidentiality to them. But yeah, it's people ask me all the time, like, how do you do what you do? It must be so hard. I mean, you're dealing with really hard situations. Sharon's knows she's a cost advocate, so there's days you want to like, kind of rip your hair out of frustration of things, and but there's so much good that outweighs it. I mean, from a staff perspective, to be surrounded with people and volunteers like Sharon who dedicate so much time to these kids who need them, and the community and people like you who have us on and let us get the word out so that people like Sharon can find out about us and join us. I mean, it's just, the news is always, the mainstream news is always so negative, and my grandma always gets so caught up in it, and she's like, oh, it's just not what I remember. And I'm like, I promise, Mimi, it is good out there.
Did you see what just happened on Fox News?
Literally.
You better turn it on quick.
Yes, and so
I do the same thing though.
call
I'll
and
call
give me
my
my
mom and tell her
rundown.
that though. See, I guess I'm kind of living in those ages then.
Yeah, so I try to counteract her, her like stress over, all the things she sees on the news. And well, we had this really good thing, and you just need to come on to Huntsville because it's really great out here. We're just this perfect little island of awesome, and you need to be here. So.
I like that. Well, before y'all go, I do have to point out something. Because of Elliot's Jewelers, I'm always looking at jewelry now. Terry Coleman comes on my show once a month. She comes on our show, and she talks to us. She's our real estate expert. And we started something that's kind of fun. She wears different jewelry now, and we always talk about her jewelry. Okay. So when y'all sat down, I noticed a couple of things. First, Sharon, I want to ask you about your necklace. Can you tell us about the necklace? I love that necklace. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's made from recycled Clorox boxes from the 1940s.
What?
I found it in the Outer Banks when we were on vacation this year. Yeah, so the glass is literally recycled.
No way.
Yeah.
That is absolutely beautiful. So,
Thank you.
And then when Rachel sat down, I noticed right away your earrings matched your dress. Those are beautiful earrings.
Thank you.
So,
the Amazon special.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, these are the Costco special.
Yeah.
$12.99
Dresses
pants.
Amazon, earrings Amazon, shoes are Target.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool though. I'm glad I asked. I would have never known that.
Yeah. She's got a much cooler story than me.
Yeah. Terry comes on here with some cool stuff. Like one day I didn't even notice she had a bracelet on, and if you looked at the bracelet, it was actually a fork that they had.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
And it was beautiful. And it had stones in it and all sorts of things. And,
cool.
and she wears, her mother had passed, and she wears a lot of her mother's jewelry to honor her mom. And I thought that was so neat. So there's always a story behind it. And she'll tell me, well, it's just costume jewelry. I said, no, there's a story behind that jewelry. So it's not just costume jewelry. It's pretty neat. So
yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, before we go, Sharon, anything else you'd like to mention briefly? Is there anything else on your mind, or did we cover everything today?
I think we covered everything, but I just want to thank the community. I grew up in a very small town in Ohio, and when we came to Texas, the best thing that happened is when we moved up to Huntsville, because the community is so giving and so loving, and I think that it speaks highly for what you talked about a little bit earlier, not getting Houston here, keeping it small, keeping the community, just supporting each other.
Yeah, that's good. Well, Rachel, before we go, I got to ask you a question here.
Okay.
We had a survey a while ago. What's your ideal age? What were you thinking about?
I was thinking as you were talking, and I'm split a little bit on my answer. So I feel like I want to say somewhere between 85, 90. So my great-grandma lived to be 100. My current grandma both my grandmas actually are still alive. One is, I think she's like 96, 97, and the other one is 90, almost 91. And so I feel like there's a good chance I'm going to, fingers crossed, that I live a pretty long time, and I'm happy to do that. But I also feel like it kind of depends on my health. Like I don't want to not be me.
Yeah. How many little ones do you have?
2.
Two.
Just
yeah.
2.
See, you were smart, though. You had them younger. I waited till I was like 40.
That was, yeah.
So now I'm going to be the grandpa. Like, I'm going to be at my son's football games. We'll be, hey, Caden, who's your grandpa? And then I'm going to be, hey, that's my grandson. That's Caden. Good job, son.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I met my husband in high school, so we had a lot of a head start to get to know each other and be married, so we had the room to start early. And my parents were almost 40 when they had me, and I'm the oldest. So.
And what age were you when you had your first?
Oh God, I think 27.
Okay.
Oh gosh,
So
27, 28.
So y'all didn't rush it. Y'all took some time then. That's good.
Yeah.
See, my mother, I think my mom's going to get really angry at me if I'm wrong. I think my grandmother had her when she was 19. But here's what was so special about that. My mother was in her 70s and got to spend all this.
Yes.
She got to spend 70. Let's see, I'm thinking my mom now. So my grandmother passed in 01. Was that 4? My mom got to spend like 75 years with her mother. How special is that?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, man, I better make it to 90, 98 because the clock's ticking, buddy.
Yeah, so that's the goal.
Yeah.
I know. I'd like to be there for obviously all my kid stuff, but all my grandkid stuff, and I'd like to see some great grandkids. I got big dreams.
It's on the You have one of those. What do you call it? Where you cut out little magazine pictures and put it on a wall.
Oh, the little vision boards.
Little vision. You got the vision board on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You got like a little Depends icon on there, to signify like great grandmother. And I'm just kidding.
I can't say that's on there.
What does that mean? Well, I want to be a great grandmother. Just kidding. All right. Well, the show's going south, so I better end it right here. So, no, thank y'all so much for being here. It's Casa of Walker, San Jacinto, and Trinity counties. They do such great work here in our community. Kim Weezer's the director there as well. Just the whole staff. They're so caring. They're so compassionate. One of my favorite people that I got to know at Casa who moved was Janet Davidson. I connected with Janet. She was so passionate about what she did, and her and her husband moved to Arkansas. But it's cool because every once in a while, their schedules and kind of how they're working right now. Sometimes her husband I got to see him at church here. He comes because they used to come to church here. So when they're in town, if it's both of them or him or her, they'll come by and visit. So
she came to bingo. They both did.
Yeah,
and
see, I love that.
It was like a whole big Costa Sea reunion. So we all got to hug her and talk, and then, we had a ton of advocates there and board members, and so they all got to see her and talk to her. So it was like a whole little mini Huntsville reunion for her just at bingo. It was cool.
Hey, one last thing. I know I keep dragging this on, but for a reason, because I just thought about this. Sharon, if somebody wants to donate to Hope's Bridge, where can they find out more information? I know somebody out there may have that crib, may have that dresser, something they want to donate.
They can call me. I think everybody in Huntsville has my number. It's 936-537-3173.
All right. Well, there it is if you want to. And the cool thing about how we do this, it's on YouTube and Facebook. You can just hit rewind. So then you go back, get the phone number, and make sure to get a hold of Sharon Deringer. I want to say Deringer because I know a guy, but it's Deringer with Hope's Bridge. Rachel, thank y'all for hanging out. It's been so much fun today.
Yeah, it's been good. Thanks
for
having us.
You bet. We're going to step aside. We'll take a break. And tomorrow, we're going to give away some Cafe Texan. Not today, but you can win. You can enter to win today. And all you got to do is text in your name. Just text in your name to 936-339-0139 to get your entry in today for Cafe Texan tomorrow. So text in.
They're so good.
Yeah, they are.
So good.
We'll take a break. As always, we couldn't have our friends such as Casa on here without the generous support of Guardian Defense. They're online at guardiandefensellc.com. I'll wrap it up when we come back. Stay with us. It is your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville here on a Tuesday. Stay with us, please.
I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville. Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
Braylon, say, this is Spirit Radio.
This is Spirit Radio.
Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit 94.3.
A little bit of news for you this morning as we come back. It's public, and she has talked about it, but I want to read something here from a friend of mine. Our good friend Tammy Farkas wrote here that she is closing a chapter, and she is grateful for the journey. She wrote, a little bit earlier today, after nearly 4 years, I am closing this chapter as the Community Relations Director at Safe House. She said, during my time here, I've been honored to help bridge the financial gap through 26 fundraising events, 227 community tablings. Joshua fixed the cameras there. Maybe I'll go back to this one, Josh. There we go. What do you think, Josh? I messed up here. Should I go on this one? I'll just leave it at this one. That's fine. That's okay. 20, which one do I look at? It's kind of like, what do I do with my hands, Ricky Bobby? I was like, what do I do here, Josh? I don't know what to do with my hands, man. But she said 26 fundraising events, 227 community tablings, and 573 education. Listen, there's a lot of great things that Tammy has done. 573 educational presentations that were focused on awareness and prevention. Safe House has not only allowed me to serve others, but also empowered me to heal and overcome my own past experiences with abuse. The greatest reward has been witnessing clients transform. And she goes on to write here, as my laptop just crashed. Man, let me go back here. My browser just crashed on my laptop. She wrote, a Safe House not only allowed me to do that, but she also said, the greatest reward has been witnessing clients transform, arriving in crisis, finding their voice, and leaving as strong, thriving individuals and families. That has truly humbled me and filled me with gratitude. I will forever be thankful for the opportunity to serve this incredible organization. She goes on to say, if you or someone you know is in need of support, please reach out. Safe House offers free confidential help 24/7 for survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. The crisis hotline 1-833-858-6265. Again, Tammy Farkas stepping down after 4 years serving at Safe House as the Community Relations Director. I had a privilege to work with her on several projects at Safe House. I want to tell you, we have a gem in this community in Tammy Farkas, and I know wherever she heads next, I think she's still going to be here in the area, and wherever she heads next, I know she is going to continue to do great work, and we are so blessed to have Tammy here. She has became a friend of mine over the years, always has been so kind, and there's times where I've been going through things. It's funny because there's times where I've been going through some things personally and just some challenges in my own life with different changes and things that I was bitter about for a while. And Tammy was just an ear for me to talk to and just to listen, and someone that would be there to support me during my time of need. And so, Tammy, I wanted to say this as a friend and on behalf of the community. We love you. We appreciate all that you do. And thank you for being so involved. And most importantly, thank you for caring about others in the way that you do. You mean so much to so many of us. And I'm excited for your next chapter, wherever that may be. And we are going to be here to continue to support you and just cheer you on along the way. So thank you, Tammy. Before we go here, I wanted to mention something that I was thinking of last night. I was thinking about prayer. I had a friend yesterday who came by, and we had an opportunity to pray, and it was kind of telling the way that the Holy Spirit works in our life, because when I woke up in the morning, I had a thought about prayer. Obviously, I pray in the mornings, but I had a thought about how important prayer is and how many times we forget about the power of prayer. And so I wrote this yesterday. It's just a short little message here that I wanted to encourage all of you with. Pray first. My friend Joshua Harris, you'll hear his spots here, the Oak Ridge Disciple House. They're a 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry that helps men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. It's an incredible faith-based organization. One of my best friends, in fact, one of my friends that's in my inner circle, one of a few. It's always important to have just a few in that main circle. Josh is that guy. But Joshua Harris taught me the importance of prayer, and really it's something that never left me. Josh is one of those guys, if you say, Josh, man, I need prayer, this is going on in my life, he'll say, let's stop right now, let's pray. There was another lady that taught me the importance of that. It was Dodie Osteen, who passed away recently. Dodie always prayed for people. We had an opportunity to pray with her on several occasions. But prayer is the most important way that we communicate with our Creator, with God. And too often, I think, even me, we're guilty of it. I wouldn't speak of this if it didn't happen to me first. Too often, we treat it as our last option, when it should always be our first response. And so I want to remind you this morning, when challenges come, when things are weighing heavy on your heart, but not just the challenges or maybe the heavy weight on your heart, but even when joyful things come our way, we need to be reminded to pray first. Start with prayer in everything that you do. Mama Dodie said it this way, that prayer is just an act of life. It's what we do. It's a way of life. That every moment throughout the day we are praying. So I want to encourage you to do that. As you're driving today and you see somebody in need, stop and pray. Doesn't mean that you have to literally stop, but just stop in your mind and pray. Don't have to close your eyes. Don't have to put your hands together. Those are all outward actions of showing prayer. But a prayer can be as you're driving by and see an accident on the side of the road, and a simple, Lord, please be with that family. That is a prayer, friends. As you're walking in the grocery store, picking up something for tonight's dinner, and you see a mother and a child, and something hits your heart that says, I know that they need prayer, just pray right then. And I want to challenge you in a way that can radically change somebody's life. Stop and ask that person if you can pray for them. When we stop and we pray, we build a relationship, and we're planting seeds for people to come and know their Creator in Jesus Christ. Hey, friends, that'll wrap it up today. Been a great show. Loved having Jason on. He had to go and take care of families. And especially a big thank you to our friends at CASA for being there today. What a great morning. We're going to be back at it tomorrow. Rick and Kay Boning of Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools will be with us, so make sure that you hang out with us tomorrow here. We'll be back on at 7:30, and we will have Diego from Sam's Table giving us some updates. I can't wait to have Diego on tomorrow. He's scheduled to be on the show with us. And as of right now, we don't have anybody for Thursday or Friday. So if you know of a nonprofit or someone in the community that would love to be on, please let us know, and we would love to have them come on as well. Many of you were joining us this morning. I wanted to say hello to a few of you as well. Billy Cawthon here with us this morning. Nathan Smith over at Ink Slingers. Man, we love you, Nathan. Good to see you this morning. Jennifer Augustinetti, Phyllis Dillard, Jamie Saucier. And Jamie, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to attend the service this weekend. We were in Schulenburg at my sister-in-law's weddings, but I definitely had you and your family in my heart and in my prayers, my friend. We just love you so much, Jamie, and just a great man, a great family here in our community. And so, Jamie, I just wanted to tell you that we just appreciate you so much. Brian Smith, my buddy up in Fargo with us this morning. Kyle Kreiner, how about it, Kyle? Kyle's here with us as well. Quentin Glaze joining us, and quite a few others. I'm going to hop over really quick to my personal Facebook page just to see if I missed out on anybody that may have commented in. A lot of you send comments through various platforms, and I don't get to see all of them, but there are quite a few comments here on my personal Facebook. Steph Valley joining us, Magnolia Kennel. Her husband, Scott, is working on some signage for me for our event coming up here on the first Sunday in September here at First Baptist. So I appreciate you very much, Stephanie and Scott with Pop Pop's Wood Shop. My sister joining us. Steph, by the way, said she wants to go to 92. 92 is a good age for Steph Valley. I love it, Steph. Also, Rick Boning, good morning to you as well, and many others joining us this morning. Hey, love all of you. Have a blessed morning. We'll be back tomorrow again with Rick and Kay of Tomorrow's Promise, joined by Diego of Sam's Table. It'll be his first time on the show, so make sure that you join us. And as I end every broadcast reminding you this morning, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other, friends. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise that somebody out there this morning needs you. Big thank you to Joshua Mashi behind the scenes running cameras for us, doing a great job as always. We'll see you back again 7:30 tomorrow. Until then, Huntsville, God bless you. Have a very wonderful and blessed day ahead. We'll see you at it tomorrow morning. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thank y'all for being a part of it here this morning. So long.